Hey, what's up, everybody? We've got a fun show for you today, which is me talking about things I want to talk about with you and listening to you. I'll pull up the chat interface here so you can talk with me. And I'll be back in 5 minutes. Gonna go get my mushroom coffee. And see you at 8 a.m. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Greg, and you're here for Mornings with Greg. I hope you have your coffee or whatever it is you drink. I like to drink mushroom cocoa because I had my coffee about an hour ago. It's part of my morning routine. Today we're going to talk about the morning routine a little bit, just a little bit. And I'm also going to show you a few things that I've been using during quarantine to stay healthy and to enjoy myself. But first, a word from our sponsor, the raccoon. This raccoon is really, really adorable. And I think we should all just take a moment to look at how cute the raccoon is. It was sent to me by my little sister earlier this morning when I sent a good morning text to the family. So, thank you, raccoon, for supporting Mornings with Greg. I think we should also take a moment to check out words from our other sponsors, puppies and music. Here's a puppy. Oh, look at him. I wish I had a puppy that tiny. I'll have one day. That's one of my life goals. Oh, look at him go. He just wants to sing. Wait, let's see if he's singing to sing. Who doesn't want to wake up to that? You know, that's what people were doing in Colorado. How do I mute this? Stop talking, dog. In Colorado, people are doing that out their windows at 8 p.m. I believe every every night. They're actually going to their windows and they're howling like dogs. For some reason, that fits with the personality of people that I know in Colorado. I know they love dogs, but it's deeper than that. I don't know exactly why. But yeah, it's a big thing in Denver right now. Chicago's doing it a little bit, but I think they're more banging on pots and pans in Chicago, which has to do with also the Chicago personalities. Yeah. I don't even want to know what they're doing in New York. So there are more puppies. There's some music. So I subscribe to... Oh yeah. So what do you guys think about this whole gig economy assembly bill? There's such an interesting... The dichotomy between the socialist mentality and the capitalist mentality in the music world is so wild to me. Because it's largely most people tend to be on the more socialist side of how they want things to be run, but then you have the government come in with a bill that makes it exactly that, the government taking control of the way that transactions are made, and then everybody's way against that. So they actually want the capitalism in it, but they don't want the one part it's just there's a weird dichotomy for it. I'm generally one that I'm more of a proponent of free markets in these sorts of situations, which is why I think that that bill, the Assembly Bill 5, was a terrible idea for the music world. It basically keeps people from employing each other. It keeps people from, because nobody's going to give each other health insurance. There's not enough money in the music world people are basically like scrounging for scraps in the first place. Nobody has the ability to actually technically employ another person unless they're already very successful, in which case they have a company built that is doing what bigger companies are doing, which is giving people health insurance and all the things that people want. So yeah, it was a terrible bill, and I'm glad that people are exempt from it. But, you know, it puts a pinpoint on the fact that people have no clue in general how finances work. Firstly, in the world and in the U.S. economy, but then secondly with our microeconomy in the music world and how it relates to the bigger picture and why we're actually able to have all of the benefits that we have from the society and the economy that we're participating in. So that's that. That's my rant for this morning. Now more puppies. Oh, look at that puppy. Oh, he's so cute. What's up, Daddy? My dad is on. Okay. Man, it's funny because I know... Oh, here's somebody playing. Let's mute my music and see about somebody else's playing. I mean, that's fine. The thing is, when I oh, there's Elmo. What's up?
What is up, Jam Card family?
It's
We've been working super hard on something for the past year, and we are very excited.
Yeah, he's talking about the thing that Jam Card just put out, which is fantastic. It's a booking app for artists to be able to book each other. Speaking of economy and the gig economy and the things that we benefit from, Jam Card is a company that has come up that is making major waves in the music world and creating tools for artists to basically monetize themselves. I have been involved with them on, minor levels. We hosted their parties at my studio a couple years ago when they were just starting them off before they had to graduate to a bigger space. Oh, and there's another puppy with his little tongue sticking out. It's just the cutest thing in the world. I don't know who that is. I feel like we're done with puppies. All right, that was fun. Yeah, but Jamcard, check them out if you haven't. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about so some people are making comments right now about the effects of COVID on the music world. Now we're gonna have a panel on Monday, so be sure to tune back on Monday if you're interested in this, because I have a panel of promoters from Europe who are gonna join me, and we're gonna talk about 2020 and 2021, because the essentially, a lot of concert halls are going to be closed through 2021 for like 18 months, and also the repercussions of what we're seeing now. It's going to play out over the course of really 10 years, but mainly like a year and a half at least, like to see the worst of it. And people are not going to want to go to big venues for another 18 months. They're not going to want to get together in groups of more than 100 people, because you're going to be able to get COVID-19, get the novel coronavirus, by being around those people until there's a vaccine. And that's not going to happen for a year. And then distribution of the vaccine is going to take another 6 months. So we all have to hunker down, especially as musicians. And we have to be we have to be ready to change, and that's why I'm doing this show. It's one of the reasons, and I'm going to be syndicating more with radio, and this is basically an experiment. This right now, I'm kind of messing around a lot, but as this grows, it'll get a little more regimented, and I'll stop probably. Maybe I'll still show puppy videos, because I really like puppy videos. But hopefully we'll have more things like what we did the other day with Simon Rentner and WBGO, where we have some guests on and syndicate it and have a guest host. In fact, if you guys know people at radio stations that want to syndicate this, please, let me know. I'm going to start reaching out to my friends at radio soon to get more of these going on, as far as collaborations with radio stations. But this is my way of adapting to the new economy for artists. And it's going to be amazing, because this is it's backing us into a corner where we have to work our way out of it in one way or another. And I think the working our way out of it is going to empower individuals in a way that we have never been empowered before. With the apps that are coming out that are going to allow us to monetize our content in different ways. And there are lots of ways that people haven't figured out. I'm working on one of them. But other people are working on ways too, and it's going to be a hard road, because people are losing their rehearsal spaces and people can't pay rent, and we're taking government bailouts and all that. But we're going to come out of it better than we went into it. The main thing is to stay in now and get through flatten the curve, so that people stop dying as much as they are, which sucks. I've had some friends and a bunch of people that I knew peripherally in the music world, especially the older ones, who've gotten it, who've already died from it. It's pretty crazy. R.I.P. Wallace Roney. Who is it? There was another. Here, I'm gonna look it up. Somebody who. There were several people who passed yesterday. Well, I know. I believe Lee Konitz just died. Henry Grimes, an incredible bassist in the. What would you even? He was an avant-garde bassist. Just incredible. Very forward thinker. He was 84 years old. Passed away from COVID. Somebody, Somebody recommended I check out .com Secrets by Russell Branson. I don't know. No, what is that? Tell me about it in this chat because I'm reading the chat. What I did check out, I've been reading some white papers. I watched a podcast yesterday by this investor. Actually, the people who really knows about this and who knows how to adapt are hedge fund managers and equity managers. People who are managing large amounts of money are the quickest and most forward-thinking to adapt to this because this is what they do for a living. They look at the landscape of changes in the world and they adapt to them. So I've been reading a lot from those people, and it's it's really enlightening. And the enlightening thing is to see that those people generally agree that this is a lot longer and a lot worse than we think. It could be a depression, which is why the market has spiked back up, but I can't see it staying there. I see it taking a long, slow down curve and then eventually going back up. Maybe once we find a vaccine, but we're going to face this crazy level of unemployment for a long time. Somebody asked me to talk about my setup. I might do that. You know what? Maybe I'll do that a little bit today. There are a few things I want to talk about, though. One of them, so I have this morning routine that I do, and a few things. So there's the mushroom coffee, which is this Four Sigmatic mushroom cacao mix. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, by the way, just FYI. I just want to share these things with you because this is pretty amazing. You can get it. Actually, Tim Ferriss has a great discount thing with them. If you go to I think it's foursigmatic.com/Tim. I don't know, I'm fucking advertising for Tim Ferriss now, but on that you get a 20% discount if you try it out. It's pretty good. And then, always do my vitamin C. Take one of these every morning. Another thing I do is this Flora Vital by Floradix. It's an iron supplement. It helps your immune system, and I've actually been using it for years, just to stay generally healthy. And then, so another thing, this is something that I want to show it to you guys because my cousin released these yesterday. Nick Pritzker, he has a company. And well, actually, this you can sort of see the branding, but this is a joint. And this is one of the reasons that I'm a little bit more mellow this morning, because last night was the celebration of the release of this Drew Martin cannabis company, which you can get in Los Angeles. This is it's this amazing package, and then the joint comes in it like this. And I wonder if I'm violating some sort of streaming law by showing this online. But yeah, it's just so beautiful the way that they packaged the whole thing and the way that it comes. And so this has been, I feel like, do I look cooler? What is, no, probably not, especially not in the morning. I don't know. It's hard to make me look cool. That's why I wear the tracksuit. Maybe ups my coolness factor a tiny bit. Hang out with the Europeans who hang out by their cars out in Glendale. Oh, see, I didn't even put that back right. But yeah, if you're in Los Angeles, you can get these at, where is it? There's a store that sells it. It's called Sweet Flower, and it's probably we tried it last night, and it's probably my favorite. I don't smoke very much. In fact, I'll tell you a story about it and why I don't smoke very much. But these were very special and amazing. Here, let me see if I can pull up this web thing for you. There we go. Yeah, so that's this is where you can This is where you can get it on Sweet Flower on their website. And this was my favorite. I tried a few of them last night. Chamomile, I don't even know how you say that, and yerba santa? Was that, whatever the chamomile one was fantastic. Obviously that's not part of my health routine, but we had some of this last night and I thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, so there's that the reason there's a reason that I don't smoke weed very much, which is that I'm very, very quickly affected by it, and I also kind of like to be in my own state of mind, like the general present state of mind. I use meditation, and I meditate every day for like probably compounded a half hour in the morning, middle of the day, and night. I take like 3 10-minute breaks essentially to meditate in the morning, sometimes more if I have time. And I like staying in that state of mind because, you know, when you put chemicals in your body, it tends to like make your mind, it moves the psyche around. But every once in a while I'll enjoy some cannabis, and so that's one of the ones I enjoyed last night. But check this out, when I was on tour with Micaiah, about 6 months ago, we played a club in Portland, and they had a cannabis concierge for us. I've never heard of these things before, but a cannabis concierge, yeah, he was like, it was a guy in a suit. Obviously, he was just a complete, total pothead, but, you know, dressed up in his suit and had his suitcase and brought out all of his products and stuff and laid them out for us. And, you know, the rest of the guys in the band are more weed smokers than me. And so, you know, they, like, checked it out, enjoyed it, whatever, you know, normal. But then I was like, okay, maybe I'll try some of this. And I, like, tried one of the chips, and I was so hungry. They had edibles, so I tried one of these, like, little cheese chips. I was so hungry, I was like, oh, that's not that bad. So I started eating more, and by the time I knew it, I'd gone through a half a bag of these weed chips. And we had to still play a show. We had 2 shows that night, so it was after one show and before the next show. So we go up to the venue where we have to play the next show, and it's like 2 hours to the show, and I start to feel this stuff, and I'm like, this could be really bad. So I stand there and get more and more, like, not really knowing what's going on until I just have no idea, and everybody else has left the venue. I'm standing there in the middle of this room where we're gonna play, looking around and thinking, okay, I see a keyboard over there across the room. So I walk over to the keyboard. I'm like, I think I need to do something with this keyboard at some point. So I sit at the keyboard, wait for sound check. Sound check happens. I still sit there, just like wait until the show starts. And at this point, I just have absolutely no idea what's going on. I don't know where I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. But apparently my muscle memory worked on the show, so I was able to play. And I remember coming to at one point in the middle of the show and thinking to myself, oh my god, where am I? I'm playing a show and my hands are moving. I'm playing a keyboard and I'm playing a song. What song am I playing? And I had no idea what song I was playing or like what I was supposed to be doing, but I was in the middle of a solo. So I just kind of observed it and then went back into oblivion. And then later that night after the show, I was like, guys, I had no idea what was going on, like, when I realized that we had just played a show. And they told me it was my favorite playing that they had seen on the entire tour. And I'm pretty sure that was because they just wanted me to participate more, but in that indulgence. But maybe, who knows? Maybe it was actually like the subconscious coming out for it. But that's why I don't smoke very much, because I'm very, very, very quickly and easily taken into just a complete oblivion by it. My brain is too sensitive. Yeah. So, needless to say, last night I was hanging with my family and my cousins, and it was a lot of fun. And I, at some point, had no idea what was going on. Like by the end of the celebration. My dad asked if that show was recorded. Hey, Gustavo Bulgac is here. What's up? Great sax player. We played a bunch of klezmer music together. My dad asked if the show was recorded. I actually did record it on my phone. I have a record, because I recorded every show that I played with Micaiah on my phone just as a voice note. I haven't listened to it. I probably should go back and check it out. see what it sounded like. Somebody said it's about using funnels to marketing and funnels to monetize your brand. If you want to see some of his concepts in action, recommend checking out Josh Wright Piano on YouTube. That's a good idea. I like that. If you guys have ideas about, because we're all, we're all artists here. A lot of the people tuning in are artists, and we're all trying to figure out how to adapt to this new landscape. And there are ways to adapt. This is my way of adapting. Adapt. I'm not sure which one it is actually. Technically, it's like economic or economic, right? I use OBS to live stream, by the way, open broadcast software. That's what I'm using, along with a lot of other stuff interwoven into it. But yeah, we're all figuring out how to adapt to this. And yes, read hedge fund managers and just anybody who's managing large amounts of money. They're the people who know what's going on right now because that's their job to know what's going on. It's an artist's job to know what's going on culturally. It's an investor's manager to know what's going on. It's an investment manager's job to know what's going on globally as far as the economy goes. And so this is one of those things that this is one of those moments in time where it's actually really good to look at the investors and what they're saying, because they also look a little bit deeper into the human history and psyche and take the history of the world into account, I find, more thoughtfully than we do often as artists. Hey, Mike Binderbon's here! So we're gonna have Mike on Monday. And he's gonna come on with Simon Rentner. And then a guy named Bryce, I guess, who's also a promoter in Europe. We're gonna have a couple European promoters, and also I think Mackay McCraven's gonna join us because he loves to give his 2 cents where it's applicable. And then and Tuesday we're gonna have Michael League from Snarky Puppy joining me once again, and we're gonna shoot the shit a little bit more. It's gonna be just me and him, and maybe we'll hear some more of his stuff, some more of his playing. Maybe I'll get him to premiere something for us. We'll see. Maybe. He has no obligations to anything, but we're gonna hang out and talk about the world and what's going on. And he had some very interesting thoughts in our radio spot when we did a syndication with WBGO the other day about the environment, which is, by the way, for those of you in LA, have you ever seen the sky like this? There's no smog. I've never seen this. Bryce Rosenblum, founder and art director of Winter Jazz. Oh, yeah, that guy. I actually have met him before in person when we played Winter Jazz Festival. Very, very interesting, like, brilliant guy, entrepreneur. So yeah, Bryce Rosenblum, founder and art director of Winter Jazz. Mike Binderbon, founder and manager of Good Music Company, who's put together all the Mackay McCraven tours thus far, at least all the big ones. Along with them, and they've got other major artists, and they're doing really well, signing more artists now. Mike Binderbon is an incredible entrepreneur, and he actually made a request. These Foolish Things. I sort of know the melody. I would play this for you if I could. Maybe I'll try. That's it, right? Actually, Then I don't know where it goes after that. Probably something like this. All I know is these foolish things. I actually don't know the rest of the chorus. One of my goals on this whole journey of isolation is to get better at piano, and so I actually have not been great at getting practice in the way that I want to, because I've been focusing on these shows and I've been focusing on this app that I'm developing. But starting today, I'm gonna get back to a solid 3 hours a day, committing publicly to you. I've got my whole regimen. Last night I did 2 hours and it felt so good. Practice is one of the greatest things we can do for our brain. Just like repetitive concentration. I mean, unless you're one of the nervous practicers who like beats yourself up, try to play something and like, fuck, can't get it, can't get it, then that's not good for you. And I would recommend you maybe try to find a different career that makes you happier, or at least try meditation and then become happier in the current state of practice. But if you practice in a meditative and self-loving way, it can be the most gratifying thing in the world. I'll take some more questions. Some people were also asking some questions. Somebody is saying you should check out yerba mate and elderberry as well. Oh, I do, actually. So there's a Flora product that is an elderberry drink. I'm not a fan of when something is like powdered and repurposed, and so this elderberry drink is a concentrate that's like powdered and then repurposed into a liquid. However, it's still elderberry, and it's inexpensive and it's accessible, and it probably does the job. So I've been doing it. I've been taking it every day. Also, it's the Flora elderberry drink. What's up? We got Cape Town in the house. Cape Town, South Africa. You know, I interviewed an amazing violinist artist the other day from South Africa. She played such a beautiful rendition. What was the song? Oh, it was the Huckleberry Friend song. Which one is that? Moon River. Somebody asked me to describe my entire OBS setup. Okay, I will do that, but not right now because that will take an hour. It's very complicated, and he's using a ton of applications and interfaces, but I'll do a video at some point of that, because it is a video that a lot of people have been asking me, how the hell do you actually have this set up where the piano sounds nice and the mic sounds nice? But you know, I have a good amount of gear because I run a studio. Well, I have a studio. It's called Tiny Room Studios, tinyroom.org. We're about to start equipment rentals because we can't actually have an open studio, so we're going to rent out our studio setups for people to use at home. But I had all this gear that I could just repurpose for my live stream, so I'm using a bunch of it. Let me, can I just explain to you, we have Weekly Piano folks on here right now, and I'm sure they're wondering things about music in general. Yeah, they're asking some questions now. So I'll tell you one insight about music that people, it can be used in so many different contexts that people often don't think about or even realize is an aspect of music. Why in the world is the beginning of Moon River so brilliantly and beautifully effective? It's just a melody, right? Okay, so there are three compounded layers that make that as brilliant and beautifully effective as it is. First of all, it starts on the 5, the melody, and ends on the 1. So that hits something in our soul. And when I say soul, I use the complex it's a technical. When I say soul, I mean all the layers of our consciousness down to the deepest possible aspect where our awareness lies, because that interacts with our physiology and the history, like throughout. It interacts with our physiology in the way that it does now because of the history of our evolution as a species and as an animal, the way that we perceive sound. So and I won't go into why that is. I could do that in another episode. It'll take an hour. Hey, Wendy Alexander. Hey, Speedo family. That's funny. Yeah, Spiro family, you probably meant. I know. It autocorrects me to Speedo too when I type Spiro on my phone. So yeah, 5, and then deviates a little bit to the 1. But think about, and that's the harmonic aspect that's very obviously 5 to 1, right? With a little bit of a variation, it makes it melodic instead of just. Imagine if it was Moon River. It would be much more boring than Moon River, because it's like goes up and then reaches its goal. Okay. But then, in addition to that, the pickup is actually on the 1. Moon River. This is the 1, and this is the and. So normally, if you were just to make it what you would think to make it, it would be like Moon River. Right? It doesn't make any sense that way, but with the alliteration the way it is, river, moon, river. So it gives you the 1 on the offbeat, which is the first layer of unexpectedness. Now, the second layer of unexpectedness, this is, by the way, the essence of what makes music great is setting up expectations and deviating from them and tricking you. That's what makes humor great too. You know, when something is really funny, it's like you thought it was going to be this way, but it is actually this way, and it makes sense completely this way, but you never thought of it that way, so it like tickles you. That's what comedy is. So it's the same thing with music. And the other aspect of how it gets you is starts with a 5 as the melody, but with the 1 as the chord, and then when it deviates to the melody being that deceptive route to the 1. The chord is the 6. So the brain almost doesn't, it could be several different possibilities of what that means to the brain. It makes it sad, first of all, because you go from a major to a minor, and in our cultural, for 500 years of evolution of Western music, minor was sad. Probably before that it was very vague, but at least the last 500, minor was more of like a, like in opera, it was the evil, like, whatever. So you go to the 6, and you have the deviation of the melody to an unexpected rhythm to an unexpected place. But it lands to its 1 up here, the harmony goes to an unexpected place that is not the one that leaves you hanging and wanting more. And then I mean, I could keep going, because then it goes to the 4 to an unexpected melodic note. It's a tritone away from the 1 of the 4, which is it's as dissonant as you can get, other than the flat 2. It's still beautiful. It's the most dissonant you can get while remaining beautiful. So that's I'm not going to pick apart the whole thing, but that's for the pianists in here. That's a little music lesson for you. You could do drop 2s here. Right? No, that's not. That would be the drop 2. I'm no expert at drop 2, by the way. Drops. Drop 2 is worth it. Normalize audio. Drop 2 is once you learn it, it's worth it. It's like the most beautiful way of. If you're a pianist, you should have your drop 2s together. I'm guilty of not having it as well as I'd like to, because it also relates to voice leading. Right? I'm not familiar with any South African jazz. Hit me to it, Francois. Tell me a good South African jazz artist. actually don't remember the bridge to that. It's like da 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 da. It's like it's I've made. Nah, I'm gonna have to go back and review that. I play till I fuck up, and then at some point I inevitably fuck up. And it's not really fucking up unless you tell yourself it is, but at some point I tell myself that I fuck up. Story of my life, right? Story of many of our lives. We keep going and keep feeling good until we decide to not feel good, and then we stop. But, you know, hopefully our meditation practices help us to be self-aware when we're doing that and keep going forward even in the face of self-doubt. I've been taking a couple days of leisure without bringing friends on because I always get a little nervous when I'm interviewing friends because I've some amazing friends. And but I'll be bringing more people. I'll probably bring somebody on tomorrow. Excuse me. Whew. I'll probably bring somebody on tomorrow to talk, and definitely on Monday we're gonna have Mike Binderbahn and Bryce Rosenblum from Winter Jazz Fest, good music company. That's gonna be really good. So artists, musicians, please tell your friends to tune in on Monday. if you're an artist, you probably know about Winter Jazz Fest. And what the fuck? That's probably going to be, well, when would that be? Yeah, January? There's no way that's happening. I mean, maybe some cool, weird version of it. I don't know. I shouldn't actually say, because we're going to have the actual guy on Monday to tell us. I'll be sure to ask him what he thinks about that and what we have to look forward to as far as if and when it will happen, and what the plans are for if it has to transform into something else. Winter Jazz Fest actually probably is uniquely capable of like pivoting, because it's a lot of small venues. It's some bigger venues, but it's a lot of small venues. So I don't know. We'll see what happens at that point. All right, Mushy Mush had a question. I'll answer it briefly. By the way, if anybody wants your questions to be thoroughly answered and to the front of the line, I will give priority to anybody who drops some love into the tip jar at www.gregspiro.live, which is right over there. But Mushy Mush, to answer your question, the question is how do I move from that to learning how to play with spread and open voicings for solo piano, and because you started learning piano with no prior experiences, can play easy jazz standards with rootless voicings in the left hand, melody in the right hand, learn basic improv. Okay, so you want to know how to like play solo piano pieces with all of that, like the stuff that I'm playing, like. Stuff like that. So, the way that I got there, first of all, when I was in college, I transcribed solo piano pieces. That's actually the only way. And it'll be very hard, but go check out Chick Corea's solo piano pieces. He has some amazing solo piano works. And all it is playing your bass, and then often the 5 and like 3 and 9 here, and then filling out your other voices, so you have a more rich bed, and then playing the melody with the right part of your right hand. Like and then putting passing chords in. But see that it's opening up your voices like 1, 5, and 3, and then 7, sharp 9, sharp 5, and like get this voicing, and then do it in all the keys, you know. So like 1, 3. So this specific one, you can move it up a half step, down a half step, and make sure you could do it in all the keys. And then you can incorporate that into whatever you're playing, right? And you get that voice by transcribing Chick Corea or somebody who's better than me. And then, so get those voicings and do it very, very, very slowly, and then start to speed it up very gradually until you can play one verbatim solo piano piece by a great pianist. And then once you have that, then get it in other keys, move it up a half step, right? So until you can do like, see, So I would actually do that. And actually, you can, I mean, this video is going to be up. Go back and transcribe the voicings that I just gave you, and just play Have You Met Miss Jones with these voicings, and then do that in another key. It's going to take a long time, but it's painstaking. I mean, it's not painstaking if you don't beat yourself up. But if you take, like, just this song, and this is just a bunch of passing chords, right? Hey, Christy Burris is on here. That's cool. Children's song throwback. Yeah, actually, this is one of the things I do every day to practice. Okay, I hope that answers your question, by the way. Mushy or Mishi or whatever. This is one of my... I do this... It's a great practice. Slower. So this is, for those of you just joining, this is one of Chick Corea's children's songs, and I really hope I don't get flagged for this. Somehow they have a way of finding songs and then taking down your stream if you play other people's music, which is so terrible. I wish they would change that algorithm to just figure out some other way to monetize it for those people. Anyway, this is Chick's children's song, and I do this as an exercise during my normal practice routine, and I use it for timing. So like it's in triple meter, right? 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. But what I'll do is I'll change it to be like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and then I'll play to that to practice like essentially splitting your brain into thinking in two different time signatures at once. Like, right? And it's hard to do anything too complicated than that. And then switch back to the other one. And then the other one. And then sometimes I'll actually switch keys in my right hand to practice polytonality. And if you do that at the same time as practicing the polyrhythm, it gets really weird. See, it's hard to keep sometimes. Like, I lost it. I'm gonna try to get it. Let's try one more time. Right? That was it. That was exactly it. You just do a whole thing. I love when somebody says, "You're not gonna believe this, but ... and then nothing. That's hard. That's not exactly right, but I'm trying to do quintuplets against it, like do it in 5, but against the 3, if you like subdivide it, shit, I can't say it. I can play it. Almost play it. Thank you, Maya Martin, for tipping. I'm not sure who that is because sometimes the screen names don't line up, but Maya Martin just tipped $5. I really appreciate it. If you have a question, if you're not somebody who I already answered your question, but if you have a question, feel free to ask it. And then there's other one. This is another one, like, this is all a cool one. You know what I just realized, by the way? It says Maya Martin just tipped $5, which I appreciate. If it's from the chat on the Facebook fan page, I might not see your messages. In fact, that's a problem. Let me go and look, because this is being broadcast in some different places. That, yeah, what I should do is go and look at the Greg Spiro. Is that the Greg Spiro page, and then see if people are commenting on that. So if you have a comment or question, I will definitely see it if it's from my. Oh yeah, there aren't. That's a problem. Okay, cool. Okay, so nobody asked a question on there. Yeah, if you do ask a question and you have tipped, make sure you ask it on either my personal Facebook page so I can see it, or the Weekly Piano YouTube, which is at youtube.com/weeklypiano. But anyway, so the chickpeas are really good for exercising and twisting the brain. So that's the piece, but then you can keep going on and like play your own stuff. Finally feeling warmed up a little bit, man. I should go, but I kind of feel like playing something rhythmic before I leave, so I'll play another Chick Corea piece. How about that? And this is just for me, because you can also go see Chick Corea on his live stream. But I love playing his pieces. That's it, right? Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. My little version of trying to pick up a tiny little fraction of Chick's technical brilliance. Ooh, that's not right. It's my little Brazilian rhythmic. Does anyone even know what song I'm playing right now? It's Every Time We Say Goodbye. Yeah. I don't know if people will have longer attention spans after COVID. Might be shorter because everybody's online now. Okay. I love you guys. I'm gonna go. I've got stuff to do today. I'm also gonna maybe work on this live stream to make it a little bit more robust for future stuff I'm gonna do. I've got to figure out a couple things, like how to make it so I don't have to keep resizing windows whenever I use them. Anyway, I love you guys and thank you for being here with me today. Support my cousin's cannabis brand. If you're in LA, order some of these. It's Drew Martin's. They're really great. And where can you get them? From what is it called? Sweet Flower. Yeah, you can get them from Sweet Flower. So you can order them. They'll be delivered to your door if you're in LA. All right, love you guys. Keep practicing. Weekly Piano people, thanks for all the comments. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.